Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wyld. Today we are talking about, is Dlivrd getting even worse? App updates you must know about. So with a lot of gig companies we work for, many like to pull some really shady things. Dlivrd is not only far from the exception to the rule, they may actually be many times worse than Doordash ever was. And recent events have displayed even more of that shady and most likely illegal activities Dlivrd is operating upon, and the integrity and the character of the executive team of Dlivrd. I'm looking at you, Chris, and I'm looking at you, Brian. So with that said, we are talking about some of the more recent developments that have been coming out with this company, some of the miscellaneous thoughts that I have about their shady activities, and everything in between. So with that said, let's get started. Hiding tips. So the hidden tip system is not all that uncommon, but on Dlivrd, they're hiding tips from their drivers as well. More specifically with Relish orders, which is a program within ezCater. If you have been on the platform long enough, you know that companies like to play these games with tips, whether it's tip fronting, allowing for tip baiting, stealing tips outright, tip pooling, and of course the classic hidden tips. And very rarely does the order value actually go up. A lot of people are speculating tip theft as well. Now people are seeing a bit more often that tips are being hidden, which is very interesting because they always start at $20, which was the base pay for a long time, but not anymore. We'll get into that later. And they always magically jump up to these $60, $75 orders. And of course, there's always an online post about it, which those posts happen to pop up a lot more often after I made a video exposing them for tip fronting, and a lot more after my gig review on them, and after I exposed them for basically begging drivers to take orders that were already low value to begin with. So are they trying to paint some narrative for the already crappy reputation they have earned and built for themselves? Probably. I mean, they gotta trick you into taking crappy orders somehow, right? Stacked orders. You've heard of stacked orders with food delivery apps. You've even heard of delivery routes with Amazon Flex or Veho. Now get ready for catering delivery stacks. Imagine waiting for orders to be completed for a catering delivery 9 or 10 times. Making your way to each stop and setting up each order 9 or 10 times. Taking a pick for each order 9 or 10 times. Moving on to the next stop for 9 or 10 times until they are all done, which it's catering, so obviously it's got to pay out really well, right? About $90, which is about $10 a drop. Hey, look, Dlivrd is having a hard time getting all these crappy orders from crappy customers to their offices because clearly, if they stack orders together, they can pray enough and hopefully they'll get the order delivered that way, right? Well, somebody's got to be taking them if they're still doing it. Dropped base pay. This might be one of the bigger announcements they've had on the subject, and honestly, it's kind of a long time coming. They have recently announced that they're dropping the minimum guaranteed base pay from $20 to the amount of $10, which is a literal half. They kind of always have said that the base pay was $10 with the orders that they sent out, and then every order somehow always had at least $10 in tip, which is why they would pay at least $20 an order, right? Because 10 plus 10 is 20. This is actually part of why I suspected tip theft for a long time. Because how else are they subsidizing that tip from others, which, if not from other orders in which they know they're stealing from? And Brian Brock will tell them that the tip was reduced because the order size was reduced, which isn't actually happening, but he lies to maintain image rather than tell you the real reason, because they were stealing tips. But that's the piss poor integrity and character of Chris Heffernan's leadership team. I wonder how their significant others like them being lying pieces of crap. Either way, expect even lower order values to hit your market in the near future. Soft and silent deactivation. Now, I was gonna make a separate video about this, but this is such a growing issue that has hit a bunch of people illegal, and people aren't talking about it enough, at least in my opinion. Or they may not have even noticed it either way. But this was found in the Behind the Wheel Discord server, a general Discord server for gig workers that isn't attached to any one creator. If you're looking for a community to be a part of, feel free to check it out. I'll leave a link in the description. The Rational Driver has reported that they deactivated him without notifying him and marking his account as frozen. The only reason he found out at all was because he was just trying to change his password. This is our quick conversation about it. Did it even notify you, or did you have to ask? Funny you should ask. I texted them about my newly resetted password not working and saying invalid credentials. That was their response. What's weird is that I texted them back on February 4th asking if their business was slow or if there was something wrong with my account causing me to not see orders. They responded that business was slow and to keep texting available to their other number, which I've been doing for weeks until I just gave up. I tried logging into the green board and app to unveil, hence the text. Just shifty. They let me back on and I give them a piece of my mind about what I think of their pay. Which their pay has actually gotten a lot worse over time, but we already went over that. Look, I am all for the concept of the squeaky wheel getting the grease, and if they have a slowdown, the orders should be prioritized for those who are actively looking for them. Fine. That makes sense to me. But to deactivate somebody for simply not getting the orders that you aren't sending, that just doesn't make sense. Like, we're independent contractors on an app, not employees getting some kind of payroll, you know? Not too long after that, they notified him that his market was slow and asked if he wanted to quit. Which, what? You're gonna ask somebody to quit? I mean, I know offers in some areas are lower than others, especially during off-peak times, but asking somebody if they want to quit? That's like asking somebody if they want to quit their job instead of being fired. You know they're trying to avoid paying severance or something like that. And if they actually thought otherwise and they thought they wouldn't win the case if they ever ended up in a courtroom, they wouldn't have asked you that. Final thoughts. Like I said in my gig review about them, this is just par for the course for the piss poor integrity and character of the executive team of Dlivrd. And not only are they just as bad as Doordash, they're getting worse. And you need to know how to handle crappy people like this. This is why I constantly preach like I'm a broken goddamn record about diversifying your gig portfolio, developing exit strategies. The gig economy is an income bridge to what would be a long-term goal, not the goal. This is why you have multiple apps and accounts available. If Dlivrd is going to be shady and pull crap like this on you, try Dlivrd That. I know with Dlivrd That, it's a little challenging to get orders, and I know that ParWorks is also canceled, at least for now, but even ParWorks worked with a bunch of companies that are now signing up local drivers, some of which include Time to Eat SoFlo, NC Deliveries, Zifty, Food Fetched, Bolt Deliveries. Maybe consider cross-niching with package delivery. You got Amazon Flex, Axel Hire, Veho. Grocery delivery, you can go Instacart, you can go Shipped, but no, you don't want to do Shipped. And then, of course, you have your classic food delivery, which is DoorDash, UberEats, and Grubhub. These lists can go on for days. All in all, just make sure that you're developing your exit strategies and diversifying your gig portfolio to the best of your ability, especially if you're going to work with crappy people like this, because this kind of piss poor integrity and character is just bad in every way and shouldn't be depended on long term. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.